With HBO revealing set photos for the upcoming Game of Thrones prequel series, House of the Dragon, anticipation is sky high for the fantasy epic, especially for those suffering from Westeros withdrawal syndrome. With production currently underway, we thought this would be the best time to go through everything we know about the upcoming series, such as the plot, cast, setting, production, and release date, and give it to you in a nice little bundle, topped off with a dragon seal. Let's take a look. Also, we tried to stay spoiler-free, but there are plot details from the book in here, so go ahead and skip Chapter 1 in the description if you want to come into the show fresh. Alright, let's start off by talking about the plot. The House of the Dragon series is set to take its content from the Fire and Blood book, which is an in-depth look at the history of House Targaryen, written by George R.R. Martin. The story takes place roughly 300 years before the events of Game of Thrones, when the threat of the White Walkers were stuff of legend and Westeros was divided into 7 kingdoms, a concept any Game of Thrones fan will be familiar with. The just over 700-page book spans around 7 generations, from Aegon the Conqueror's arrival and conquest of Westeros all the way to the aftermath of the Dance of Dragons, a civil war that ripped the family in two. The House of the Dragon series will seemingly focus primarily on the Dance of Dragons events, which book readers will know is full of drama, intrigue, and high-stakes battles taking place on the backs of dragons. For anyone who hasn't read the Fire and Blood book, I would highly recommend it. I mean, what else have we got to do while we wait for the Winds of Winter? By the way, last warning for anyone who doesn't want to hear about plot details. Now, without diving into the nitty-gritty, as I don't want to provide any real spoilers for you, the main cause of the Dance of Dragons is the issue of succession. After the death of King Viserys Targaryen, the next leader of Westeros is placed under question and a power vacuum forms, leading to 2 opposite factions within the House of Dragon. And although the Targaryens are known for loving their family a little too much, they are very quick to turn violent with one another here, with old feuds and family drama rising to the surface. The champions of the 2 factions are King Viserys' daughter and eldest child, Princess Rhaenyra, and his eldest son from his second wife, Queen Alicent, Aegon II. The House of the Dragon will likely focus on their bloody and violent scrap for power in typical Game of Thrones fashion. Although the 2 factions, which are divided into colors black and green, are led by members of the Targaryen family, other familiar houses will find themselves in their number, such as House Stark, Lannister, and Tully. Now, as we said, we will not get into any specifics, but the repercussions for the Dance of Dragons very much shapes the Westeros we know and love in Game of Thrones, and the events of the Civil War are very important in Game of Thrones lore. If you haven't read the book, trust me, it is gonna be epic. But who will be playing the characters exactly? Well, so far we have some pretty big-name casting, with Paddy Considine as King Viserys, Emma Darcy as Viserys' eldest child Rhaenyra Targaryen, Olivia Cooke as Viserys' second wife Alicent Hightower, Doctor Who actor Matt Smith as Daemon Targaryen, the brother of Viserys, and who is an interesting character to say the least, Rhys Ifans as Alicent's father and Hand of the King Otto Hightower, Eve Best as Princess Rhaenys Velaryon, who is also known as the Queen That Never Was, Sonoya Mizuno as Daemon's friend and advisor Mysaria, and Fabian Frankel as Kingsguard Knight and Rhaenyra's sworn shield Criston Cole. But for me, the best character in the lineup, and my favorite character from the book, is Lord Corlys Velaryon, aka the Sea Snake, who will be played by Steve Toussaint and can be seen in all of his glory in a photo released by HBO. The Sea Snake is an expert sailor and adventurer, with an immensely memorable and beloved storyline, and to be honest, he's just an all-around badass. I'm just saying, if they character assassinate the Sea Snake, I am not gonna be happy. Just putting that out there. So that's what the show is about and who's in it. But who's working on the show behind the camera? Well, for any Season 8 critics like myself, you will possibly be relieved to learn that Game of Thrones showrunner David Benioff and D.B. Weiss have opted not to be a part of the prequel series. Also, Thrones writer Brian Cogman, who had originally drawn up the concept of the prequel series, has since left the project to work with Amazon on the upcoming Lord of the Rings series. The new showrunners then will be Ryan Condal, who wrote on the TV series Colony and the Dwayne Johnson movies Rampage and Hercules, and Miguel Sapochnik, who might be a familiar name to Thrones fans as he was the director behind the visually stunning The Bells episode, along with some of the show's biggest episodes such as Battle of the Bastards, The Long Night, and Hardhome. As well as being the co-showrunner, Sapochnik is also set to direct an episode of the show, but we wouldn't be surprised if he directed a few more along the way, seeing as there are plenty of big battles that take place during the Dance of Dragons that will likely require his skills. Another familiar name from the Game of Thrones series is Emmy-winning composer Ramin Djawadi, who will be returning to provide the score for the House of the Dragon series. And, of course, the man himself, George R.R. Martin, will be returning to a producer role and will be giving the showrunners some sage advice. Production for the show is underway, with filming starting in April of this year on the west coast of England and Cornwall, with medieval-style sets being seen in places such as St. Michael's Mount. If production remains on course, the show could be set to air as early as January of next year, although that's still not quick enough for me. Come on, HBO, I need me some dragons! So that's what we know so far. The rest, we'll just have to wait and see. But one moment I am really looking forward to is the battle above the God's Eye, which could be the best Thrones battle yet.